Welcome back to Be Better at Computer, where I aim to give you realistic, practical advice on how to be better at computer. So today, I think we all know that computers do drag and drop, and I think we are not quite sure how powerful drag and drop is. So I'm going to show you a bunch of tricks you can use to make your life easier. So on a Mac, certainly, I don't think this is quite as good on Windows, but try everything that I show you and see what works. On a Mac, you can drag almost anything from almost anywhere to almost anywhere else, and it'll work. And I thought to show you this because Lucy, who sits behind me during the day, exclaimed last week, she said, "Oh!" and she gave a little cry of joy, because what she'd done was she'd selected some text in the Notes app that she uses, which is called Tot, cute little app, and she dragged that text over into Things, and the text just went from Tot and became a thing in her Things inbox, because that's a thing that just works on a Mac. Okay, this one's a favourite of mine. I have downloaded a book in Safari, and so here is Safari's downloads window. So we're still in Safari. We're not even in my downloads folder. And if I double click this, it's going to open in the default on my Mac, which is Apple Books. Now I don't want that. I use Calibre, which is just a different app because I've got an e-reader. So what I can do, I can just drag this icon straight out of Safari's downloads view onto the icon for Calibre in the dock, and that's it. Now the book's in Calibre. All right, let's take a screenshot, and then I need to upload that screenshot into this web service, which is my mailing list. So I use an app called CleanShot to take my screenshots, just because it has more features than the built-in one. So I can take a screenshot, and then I get this little floating window of the screenshot down here on the left side, and I don't even have to save this somewhere and then wonder where to save it and then drag it into Safari. I can just drag it straight into this view in Safari. And it doesn't even matter if Safari, if the application you're using gives you one of these nice areas where you can drop a file on, even if it gives you one of these things where you have to just use a file open dialog, you can just drag the thing into the file open dialog. Okay, here's another favorite. I've got this document that I'm working on, and when I go to save it, my system pops up the save dialog. Now, I've been working on other things in the same folder, so I've already got the folder where I want this document to be here on my screen. Wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to find my way there again using this open dialog in Pages? Well, what I can do is just drag the folder from here into here, and now I'm there. Here's another little trick while we're here, because I forgot to rename this document. And what you can do in almost every Mac app is use the little document name up in the title bar here, and you can just rename the document, even if it's open, directly from here. Let's improve this document with an image of a chicken, obviously. And again, I don't really need to save this image of a chicken onto my disk and then go to File or go to Import Image or whatever it is from my document. I can just drag the image of a chicken straight from the web into the document. It imported that at full size, so we just make it the size we need it to be. Now, I need to send this document to Lucy by email. So what I can do, rather than going to my email and again trying to think where the document is and going to File, Find, Insert, Attach, I can just drag the document onto my email on the dock. This gets even better. The Mac has these things called proxy icons, and you'll find them up at the top in the title bar of most applications. You can find them in the Finder itself. And this icon behaves like the document. So you don't even have to go to Finder to drag this document from where it is into Mail. You can just use this tiny little icon and do it. That can be a pretty sweet time saver. Hopefully you got the idea. If in doubt, try dragging something from where it is to where you want it to be. More often than not, it's just going to work. Okay, after those top tech tips, let me just tell you a story, because part of being better at computer is how you behave on the computer. And something happened to me last week that made me realize. So what happened was, we were going to go to the library here. We're in a city called Morioka in Japan. And sometimes we go to their wonderful public library to work, just because it's a nice place. And so this was a public holiday, and we knew we had to get there by 9 o'clock, because otherwise it was going to be absolutely packed full of people. So it was about 8:20 in the morning, and I was doing something on the computer. I think I was doing my morning reviews, and I caught sight of my phone, which was just there, and there was an alert on my phone, which was that somebody had bought something through my store. And in certain situations, what I need to do when that happens is to then activate their account. So someone's just given me some money, and until I do something, they can't actually use the thing they've paid for. So I want to do that. I want to do that quickly. But I was in the middle of something else. We were just getting ready to leave. Lucy was practically putting her shoes on. And when I started doing this other task, I realized that I'd got myself in, there was some other technical thing that I had to do. And I ended up down this like rabbit hole of technical jumble and frankly stress. And I was sitting in this chair, and Lucy was putting nuts in my mouth from behind my face, trying to feed me walnuts so that we could leave and I wasn't too hungry. And I realized what a ridiculous situation that I have got myself into. I was perfectly calm. I was sitting here, I was doing my morning reviews, and one notification on my phone just sent me off on a spiral. And that was it. That part of the morning wasn't ruined, but from a mental clarity perspective, it kind of was. I was off, I was gone. And so my ask to you is, and this is something I continually struggle with myself and something that I'm going to keep addressing here on the channel, is how do we, in a world where anything can distract you at any time, and sometimes you want those distractions, I want these notifications, but how do we keep in control? And in this case, I think the simple answer is I've now started keeping my phone, there's a drawer just here, and I've put my phone in the drawer when I'm at work, because I don't need to see those notifications instantly. I don't need to be distracted instantly. It can wait until I'm finished what I'm doing, and then I consciously switch to the task that I want to be working on. Something else I've been trying is this idea that I'm going to try, and you can do it with pieces of paper. I wrote a blog post about this the other day. I think people misconstrued the blog post as me trying to track my time. I wasn't trying to track my time by writing down everything I did during the day. What I was trying to do was to be conscious and to say, okay, I'm doing a new thing, write it down. And therefore, by implication, I'm not doing the previous thing. And by trying to write down all the things you do through the day and trying to really consciously start a thing, do a thing, and then finish a thing, can we be a bit more deliberate in our work, and can we be less distracted? Because you are better at computer when you are less distracted and more focused. So that's something I'm going to keep working on. If anybody has any tips, this is obviously a huge area at the moment of, distraction and people trying to work better. So I'm trying to work out my own way. If you have any advice, I'd love to hear it. All right, here is one of my absolute all-time mega favorite uses of the Johnny.Decimal IDs. If you do this sort of thing, if you do this where other people are watching, this is the sort of thing that causes people to literally go, whoa, dude, what did you just do? And how did you open that file so quickly? So we were here working the other day. Lucy was behind me. We just updated a photograph that we were going to update to some website. And Lucy said, I just updated the photograph. And I said, cool, thanks. Where is it? And she just said 43.18. That was it. She was just sitting there. She said 43.18. Within 5 seconds, I had that photograph open. And here's how I do that. So I use an app called Raycast. I'll show you in a second how you can just do this with your operating system search feature. And in future episodes, we're going to install Raycast on Lucy's computer. She's never used it. She uses something similar called Alfred, but we're going to start from the beginning. We're going to install Raycast for Lucy and walk you through all of its features. But for now, here's all you need to know. You can launch Raycast, and I think I've configured this myself. I'll drop something on the screen if you need to do some configuration. Otherwise, this just works. Launch Raycast, press the spacebar twice, and now it's in this mode where it will search all of your files. Type 43.18. There it is. Hit return. So I can do that now. I activate Raycast, command space, I press space twice, space, I type 43.18, which Lucy just said over my shoulder, and in less than 5 seconds from the words coming out of Lucy's mouth, I'm looking at the thing I need to be looking at. That is a spectacular, powerful use of these Johnny.Decimal IDs. And the reason it's better is she didn't have to say to me the exact, I can't even tell you the exact name of the folder. They are not words that you remember, and you've got to type them out, and it's just, you just don't remember them. You don't remember the exact titles of folders. But someone can just say 43.18 and that's it. That's everything you need to know to get there. Here's how to do this using the built-in Spotlight on your Mac. So by default, it also has Command Space as a keyboard shortcut, or it will be a little magnifying glass up here in your menu bar. I've turned mine off. On Windows, you can just use Windows Search and it will do the same. And basically that's it. You activate your operating system's search function. You type the numbers you want. They should appear. You select them. Job done. All right, we've got another segment just for members only on JDU, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building out using a new technique I'm trying called dynamic discovery, and we're going to start building out a map of content for this video series. So that is for the members on JDU. You can sign up at JDHQ. Okay, if you use Raycast, that isn't the default. Here's how to get to the default. You got to launch Raycast. You got to go to its settings with Command comma, and then in extensions, look for files. And what you want to do here in search files, in alias, just add a single space for the alias. So I've just typed space and hit return. Whoop. And that will enable Raycast, activate Raycast, hit space 2 times, and now just start typing the name of any folder or file and it will find it for you.